This is where trying to break the target prohibits long-term memory growth, because if you can predict how you want to hit the target and where, and then execute your prediction and see if it hits the target, hit or miss, that's going to go to long-term memory, okay? But if you're more interested in hitting the target than executing your prediction, the whole shot's wasted. Am I off base?
Well, I think, right, if it'd be interesting to, and this is what's lacking in our field, is that we don't have very systematic studies that have been carried out with actual shotgun shooters. But I think, Gil, you're definitely onto something in that area, is that if we walk into a stand without any type of plan or preconceived notion or any type of plan based on association. So if we're not using our ability to associate previous experience with real-time experience, then we're already going down a rabbit hole in terms of allocating our working memory resources efficiently. So if I step into the stand, I haven't looked at the target well, I haven't made a plan, I haven't decided how specifically I'm going to shoot it, then it's very difficult for me to prime my existing long-term knowledge about how to do that, even if I possess it. And then what happens, I go into a mode of reaction. Reaction leads to choking, which is controlled processing. That's where we're relying more and more heavily on our short-term memory. For example, you step up to a target, you're not on the line of the target beats the gun, you whip the gun up, your stance is off. All of that starts to be controlled processed or deliberately thought about, and you choke. So
yeah, that would be the difference in reacting to a target and anticipating a target.
Correct.
And if I'm not mistaken, those two things are completely different parts of the brain.
They are, and they lead to different performance outcomes. We know that. We definitely know that anticipation is an extremely powerful construct in skill acquisition. By anticipating, priming, well, as we're talking about, if I want to shoot a bird by converging or catching it or whatever the technique I'm going to use, and that I prime my long-term folder ahead of time, what I'm doing by doing that is I have already anticipated, before even taking the shot, how the shot will come together, how the shot will look, what will happen when I pull the trigger. So anticipating actually frees up your working memory resources. So this is a really interesting concept, and we see this with other sports. We see it with golfers. We see it with tennis players. We see it with dart throwers. I recently watched a study being conducted with dart throwers where they are actually visualizing exactly the move of their hands to the tip of the needle of the dart and where it hits the target, where it hits the board, the target board. And they're going through a similar process of techniques of converging, although they don't call them that. They may have their own specific priming cues, but it allows them to anticipate what the outcome is going to be. And I think that's what's so powerful, accurately anticipating the outcome.
Wow. It's interesting to me, Leif, that this road that we've been stumbling down with bits and pieces of the information that you're bringing together now, how we have come up with conclusions that are parallel to the conclusions that your research is showing.